Donald Trump's ratings for his inauguration were abysmal. I mean, terrible ratings. And I also want to point out that his crowd was so small that he had to move it indoors so that he wouldn't have the optics. And I think it's important for everybody watching this shit show to understand that this will be an administration based on smoke and mirrors. They are going to create what looks like support. I'll give you an example. I saw an attorney general for the state of Oklahoma tweet yesterday. All the January 6th hostages in Oklahoma are out now. And if you look at the replies, it is hundreds of bots fueled by Elon Musk saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So they're creating this smoke and mirror campaign that the people really support this. So remember, when you're online and you see this disproportionate support for some crazy, evil crap that this administration is doing, it is a smoke and mirror campaign.
Yes, and I loved yesterday in Denmark, they were talking about Donald Trump and Greenland. And here's what I want to see out of U.S. representatives, not just members of government in Denmark. This is the kind of response to Trump I want to see.
Dear President Trump, listen very carefully. Greenland has been part of the Danish kingdom for 800 years. It's an integrated part of our country. It is not for sale. Let me put it in words you might understand. Mr. Trump, fuck off.
Love it. And this is the energy that the corporations that haven't bent the knee yet need to have, because the majority of your consumers, the majority of your customer base thinks that MAGA and Donald Trump are bananas. And the more he starts to roll out his evil, nefarious plans for this country, he was sworn in with a historic low approval rating of 47%. Typically, when a president is sworn in, there's a unifying feeling, and it's way up over 50%. So he's already over his skis. And I saw Vogue's Instagram page yesterday put up an image of Ivanka Trump in an Audrey Hepburn knockoff dress. And these corporations, Anna Wintour, do not do this. Hold the line. Do not capitulate. Do not surrender. They are an evil, corrupt administration, and you have to hold the line.
I completely agree. And one thing that the smoke and mirrors part, you're exactly right about. Another thing Trump does is he goes into these White House press conferences and he says just absolutely nonstop word salad, nothing, or he diminishes reporters. Show this first clip of him regarding his nonstop grifting, his new coins that he's grifting off of.
You launched a crypto coin the other day. Do you intend to continue selling products that benefit yourself personally while you're president?
Well, I don't know if it benefited. I don't know where it is. I don't know much about it other than I launched it. I heard it was very successful. I haven't checked it. Where is it today?
Hey, you made a lot of money, sir.
How much?
Several $1 billion, it seems like, in the last several days.
Several billion? That's peanuts for these guys.
Oh, that's hilarious. I mean, here they are openly talking about corruption and the press laughs. This is an extension of his flea market. This is blatantly corrupt. If Obama, Kamala, Biden, anybody was grifting like this the first day of their presidency, the right wing would lose their minds. The double standard is disgusting. There is a Trump standard, and he can do whatever he wants with impunity. And then I turn on the news this morning and I see a chyron on MSNBC fall out from Joe Biden's pardons.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Are you kidding me? The media capitulation, corporate capitulation to this fascist regime is the most dangerous part. Trump is Trump. He's going to do this. He's going to have all the crazies, all the crazy Christians, all the meltdowns, all the oligarchs. But those of you that remain with a spine, with a backbone, I can't believe I'm about to say what I'm going to say. Are you going to allow Karen Pence to have more decency and more courage than you are? Is that where we are? That Karen Pence has more courage than a bunch of you? That's pathetic.
Well, Karen Pence definitely has more balls than Joe and Mika of Morning Joe on MSNBC. There's no question about that, as does Michelle Obama. Here's the thing about Trump that kills me. He goes up there, he doesn't even try to explain, hey, I started this before the administration, I'm going to stop it. I know I'm going to have somebody else be like a third party receiver and manage this because I don't want to gain personal wealth on the presidency. He doesn't give a fuck. He's corrupt. He doesn't try to deny being corrupt. He doesn't care if you think he's corrupt. And here's the thing. He knows that no one will hold him accountable. Not the Senate, not the Congress, not the Supreme Court, certainly not the American people. There is no accountability for this man. Therefore, he's just going to roll past, ignore questions, be a dick, scam the American people because that's what he's good at. And it just infuriates me that the reporters all just giggle and think it's a ha-ha. Why didn't somebody say, but Mr. President, this is widely held to be, this is widely believed to be corruption. How are you going to discount that for the American people so they know that this is not some kind of corruption scheme? Nobody asked that. Nobody.
But I think I'm at the point right now where what would make us think somebody is going to do that? This has been since 2016, and his corruption is only more emboldened. The people around him, Marco Rubio in that interview we played yesterday looked like he was a hostage. It looked like a hostage video. This is literally the worst impulses of humanity all brought together as one team. You have the oligarchs, you've got Zuckerberg staring at Bezos' wife's boobs. You have Elon Musk rolling on some sort of drug in the middle of the inauguration. And then he's doing Hail Hitler salutes. And then you have the libs of TikTok trying to say, oh, no, that's not what it was. We all know exactly what it was. Everybody knows exactly what it was. And so I have been getting a bunch of DMs, and I want to tell all of our listeners and viewers this. When they archive VP, POTUS, FLOTUS, and they put the number. They archive those. And then they set up like JD Vance with the new VP. Well, if you followed the old VP, Kamala Harris, you're now following JD Vance. So everybody needs to go in and unfollow VP and unfollow POTUS, because we do not want to give these people those metrics. Mark Zuckerberg can do that on his own, because we all know that they have no integrity, no morals whatsoever. Before we go on, we're going to read an ad. Please support our show by listening to our ads and supporting our sponsors. Pumps, 2025, we're not spring chickens. We've got to go all chips in on our skin. And that's why I am so happy to share with our listeners OneSkin. OneSkin was founded in 2016 by an all-woman team of scientists with PhDs in skin regeneration, stem cell biology, immunology, and bioinformatics. I have to tell you, I've been giving OneSkin 12 weeks. Look at this.
Pretty as a picture. I'll tell you what, I've been using the OS01 eye cream and the face cream. The eye cream, I'm about 10 weeks in, and I am noticing softness around my fine lines. And I'm also noticing a little more firmness with my sagginess. So I'm loving it.
Listener, OS01 works at the cellular level to improve key aging biomarkers while reducing the visible signs of aging, including lines, wrinkles, and sagging skin. Founded and led by an all-woman team of skin longevity scientists, OneSkin is redefining the aging process with their proprietary OS01 peptide, the first ingredient proven to help skin look, feel, and behave like its younger self. You can get 15% off with code IHIP at OneSkin.com OneSkin.co. That's 15% off at OneSkin.co with the code IHIP after you purchase. They'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Invest in health and longevity of your skin with OneSkin. Your future self will thank you. All right, what's next, Pumps?
Okay, so also at his ridiculous press conference, Trump was questioned about his pardons of the January 6th convicted felons. Here's what he had to say.
The executive orders, you would agree that it's never acceptable to assault a police officer.
Sure.
Right? So then if I can, among those you pardoned, DJ Rodriguez, he drove a stun gun into the neck of a DC police officer who was abducted by the mob that day. He later confessed on video to the FBI and pleaded guilty for his crimes. Why does he deserve a pardon?
Well, I don't know. Was it a pardon? Because we're looking at commutes and we're looking at pardons. Okay, well, we'll take a look at everything. But I can say this. Murderers today are not even charged. You have murderers that aren't charged all over. You take a look at what's gone on in Philadelphia. Take a look at what's gone on in L.A.
Yeah, I mean,
I've heard enough.
Here's
this
what
is
makes
the
me
false equivalency presidency
Yes.
that's going to go forward, and it's going to be false equivalency, false equivalency. They are going to, and the media is already capitulating to this by trying to compare Joe Biden's pardons to what Trump did. And I realize that it's a slippery slope with what Biden did, but we are in unprecedented times, and any reasonable person would have done the same. Some of the people on the left that are saying, Joe Biden, I can't believe you did that. It's like you're not grasping exactly what's going on here. So it's false equivalency, and there is this Trump standard that he can do anything he wants at any time with impunity, and his flea bag supporters that beat up cops. So right now what we have is an administration that doesn't give a shit about law and order.
Right.
That embraces Nazis even more so than they have in the past. And this isn't the first embrace of Nazism from MAGA. Right. You might remember the boat parade in Florida where there's Nazi flags, the South Carolina, the Jews will not replace us. There's been a long history of this. It's just, and then the MSG rally. I mean, everybody knows what Stephen Miller was trying to accomplish there and that Trump went along with it. So this is just false equivalency presidency, and it's going to be smoke and mirrors, and he's going to create the illusion of support. And his support, 47% when he was sworn in, it is going to decline dramatically each and every day because everything he's doing, raising drug prices, Netflix just went up, Trumpflation has started. Everything he's doing, his approval ratings will faceplant. Hide and watch.
And that really hurts his feelings when that happens. And just one thing that I feel compelled to point out, he had already pardoned these people and they were out of jail. And his response was, well, we're going to look into that. It's too fucking late. It's done. And nobody points it out. I mean, I'm so frustrated with the media, but we all know that.
I think that the general frustration with the media has been for a very long time, and the media has capitulated. You have industry capitulating, and at the formations of fascist governments, you see power players get in early, and fascism happens very slowly, and then all of a sudden it happens all at once. And right now we're seeing the all at once. So it's very important to recognize the people that are pre-surrendering, that are capitulating, because this is a different world to set up a big fascist regime in a country that has been afforded democratic rule for 230 years. And the American people still have agency, and we have to be organized and united and rebel.
Completely agree.